Hello, everybody. First of all, thank you, you guys, for all those kind words and, wishes of encouragement and stuff while my family's going through a few, tough changes. With Grant's mom dying, of course, that was really tough for him, but he's doing well. She was mid-90s after all, so, and she passed so peacefully, just literally just faded away. So, it wasn't as horrible as it really could have been. And my mom's doing better. She had a much better day today, although I had a freaky scare this morning. So nobody slept last night, as you can imagine. And, I woke up kind of punch drunk sort of after 8, and Grant was still sacked out. I mean, he was still real tired, and I wandered into the living room, and here's my mom. She's lying in her chair. She's got one of those electric chairs that goes back and gets you up out of the chair and all that. So she's lying back there, and I tell her, okay, time for meds. And she immediately pops right up, waiting for those meds with that look on her face. And I leaned forward to put the meds in her hand, and I looked in her eyes, and this pupil was blown. This one wasn't regular size. This fixed and dilated. Okay, that was so scary. And I'm looking, and I'm like, Mama, can you see? Yeah, she can see. I did all of that. She didn't have her weakness. I mean, her strength was the same in both hands. I kind of tested her for maybe stroke, symptoms and all that. She didn't have any of them. So, but I was freaked. So I called a couple doctors. I called my friend Abigail, who's a nurse, and Abigail suggested that I get her right in to see an ophthalmologist. So I called her eye doctor immediately, and they got us right in. And the guy looks at her and tests her and stuff, and he says, have you had any surgeries, any sicknesses recently? And I told him, well, yeah, she had she had her last chemo and radiation back in January, so yes, she went through cancer treatment. He says, really? He says, what kind of cancer did she have? And I said, well, it's a type of lung cancer that occurs on the apex of the lung. It's called a pan-coast tumor. Pan meaning all, coast meaning costal. So it hooks itself all up in the costal or the rib region of your lung, and it gets all into the tissues and stuff. I mean, it's not one of those little discreet ones that you could take out with a cyber knife, or you can go in and cut out. I mean, it's essentially part of the tissue, so you have to shrink the damn thing and then decide if you're going to go in and do the trauma to take it out or not. But anyway, so it's a pan-coast tumor, and he kind of sits back and he says, wow, he says, I've heard of this happening, but I've never seen it. And I said, what's that? He said, well, when you have a pan-coast tumor, there's a nerve that goes from up under here, around behind your neck, up into your occipital area where your eye nerves are, and back down. He says it does this weird convoluted thing. And he says what will happen is with your the radiation treatment, because it is so close to that nerve, it will often damage the nerve, and it will cause this impairment of the opposite eye. So she had the tumor on her left, and the impairment is on her right eye. It will cause impairment of the right eye's ability for the pupil to dilate or to constrict, and so you'll get this weird unmatched look in the pupils. He says it's not anything scary to worry about. It's simply an idiosyncrasy of radiation when it is that close to that particular nerve. So, I mean, woo, she didn't have a stroke. She wasn't, none of that. So that really lifted her spirits too, to hear that. I mean, everybody keeps telling her, Elizabeth, you're actually in damn good shape. You just have to work on your memory. You got to work with your daughter, and work with, get out and walk and watch TV and try to read, and it's going to come back to you. So anyway, so the mom thing is handled for a while. It's looking all right. And that's just an aside. What I really wanted to say is I have had so many comments from you guys recently about my skin, saying that my skin looks pretty and it looks, smooth and unlined and all that. And I mean, the first reason that it looks like that, and I've told several of you guys this, it's these lights. It's my new softbox lighting. You can see that I'm overexposed a little bit. Well, not overexposed, but I've got a little more light on me than I really need. I'm doing this on purpose because it sort of blows out all the contrast, and it makes your skin look really, really even and beautiful and glowing. I mean, these lights for $129 on Amazon were the best investment since my little Lumix camera that I'm using right now, that I have made since I started vlogging. I mean, it makes me feel so comfortable and so ready to come in and flip on the lights and flip on the camera and talk, because it's this nice, beautiful, even lighting, and I don't feel like I need to, hi mama, you can come in, like I need to, slap on a bunch of makeup, like I'm barefaced right now. So anyway, but the other reason why I look so great is, relatively great, is that I've had plastic surgery, you guys. If you go back like 8 or 10 months, you'll see me agonizing over whether I should have my eyelids done. I had my upper and lower eyelids done, and you'll see all my kind of before and afters. You'll see the whole sequence of me in the recovery room and the days after when Abigail took care of me, in this little Sweets Inn that was next door to the plastic surgery place. So, and in addition to having my eyelids done, I had Fractal laser on my face, and I don't know how well we're going to be able to. So I'm going to get up close and personal so you can really see what's actually there. I think you can. So the Fractal laser, I mean, it did a wonderful job of evening out my skin tone. It actually made my pores smaller. I didn't think that was possible. I didn't think that was really part of what Fractal did. I think part of why it does that is because the theory is, and I don't know if this is true, but they say that it causes the collagen layer under your skin to grow. And in a way it makes sense, because when you have a scar, the reason you scar on your face is because your connective tissue grows faster than the skin and the other muscles that or tissues that are, right under the skin, and it will overgrow and grow outside of the incision line and form a scar. You'll notice that women of color, particularly black women, have a tendency to scar very badly. They get what's called keloid scarring, and it's because the subcutaneous layer right under their skin that is connective tissue and collagen, it is so thick that it grows so quickly that they very quickly get these keloidal scars. That is one of the reasons why black women and men look so good for so many years. Their skin has a support that, us light-skinned European or Mediterranean descent people, that we don't have. So, you put my face, particularly before I had any of this done, next to my best friend Beverly's face, and Beverly is 5 years older than I am, or 6 years older than I am, and, her skin is as unlined as mine is. And maybe even more. I mean, she's extremely youthful looking. So, that is why black women look so awesome for so long. So anyway, I've just, it's never occurred to me to actually vlog about this now, because I did it all last year, and then it was over and I moved on to other things. I went to Kaiser and had them take a look at my eyes, because if you go back and look at there's a video I did called To Cut or Not to Cut, and I did this super close-up of how puffy and dragged down and just kind of swollen and painful my eyes looked. I mean, they look real bad if you go back and look at that. And I was trying to decide, do I don't know if I really want to change the way I look. That scared me. But I felt like I had to prop my eyes open with toothpicks at the end of the day because they were so heavy. Well, I went to Kaiser, and Kaiser said, well, you don't quite fit the criteria. Your vision's impaired, but it's not impaired enough for us to pay for it. So I thought about that, and I had come into a little bit of money the year before. I'd sold my trademark, actually, and And it was enough to do a number of things. I was able to pay off some bills, and you know, I paid all my capital gains on it and all of that. And then I was kind of holding on to a chunk because I thought, well, you know, it's nice to have a nest egg. So I was really on the fence. Do I really want to spend this money on plastic surgery, or do I just want to bank it and have that little chunk? And what I decided to do was literally invest it in my face. And I'll tell you something. It was the best big money I have ever spent. I never had buyer's remorse. I would go back and do it again in a heartbeat. It really changed a lot about how not how I feel about myself, but how like my comfort level, I guess, is really where it was at. Not so much the laser. That was an add-on, and it was just nice to have my skin, you know, look better. But the blepharoplasty, that changed like how I felt. I mean, at the end of the day, I mean, my eyes don't hurt anymore. And sort of coming right on the heels of having my eyelids lifted and done and the bags taken out and all that, right on the heels of that, I had to have a cataract surgery. Kaiser did pay for that, so I had a lens implant in this eye. When I was 9 years old, I had to start wearing glasses because I was so nearsighted. I was just extremely nearsighted, and I've never been able to go without glasses or contacts. Now, I'm going uncorrected. I never wear glasses except for if I'm trying to, you know, thread a real thin needle, or if I want to read for a long time, it's more comfortable for me to put on some reading glasses. But like for most reading, I don't need glasses to read. I just need them to read for a long time. Or I do find that, like, the fact that my eyes are two different prescriptions or correction levels, they start to fight with one another. This eye also has a cataract, and they'll probably want to take it out next year. So when this lens is replaced, I will then have 20/30 vision, something like that, without any LASIK or anything. And the reason is because as you get older, your focal length, I believe it gets longer. It gets longer. It's too short if you're nearsighted, and it lengthens because all of your muscles start to relax as you get older. You know, they get saggy. And what that does is it actually corrects your eye, or in some cases. In my case, it has almost corrected my eyes back to 20/20, which is just weird. And what's so weird is that I was thinking about doing LASIK for years. I thought, man, I would love to be able to see without glasses. That would be such a great investment. I would feel safer, like if I lost my glasses or broke them and I didn't have another pair, or I was, you know, homeless and I couldn't get another pair, I'd still be able to, you know, like, see and protect myself. So the universe corrected my vision for me, and I feel real blessed about that. I'm very thankful. So anyway, now you know the rest of the story. That's part of why I'm not horribly, you know, too terribly saggy. I mean, I'm saggy, but you know, it's not too bad. So anyway, that's the power of plastic surgery. And incidentally, I'm not like into plastic surgery either. Like, it would never occur to me to like do a facelift or have my boobs done or any of that. I mean, I might want to have extra stomach skin hacked off later if that's like a problem. If I can't get clothes to fit, or if it's uncomfortable or whatever, I would do it for that. But you know, as far as I'm concerned, my boobs can hang down to my knees. My husband doesn't care, and neither do I. So it's not, I'm not like, you know, and not that there's anything wrong with wanting to surgically make yourself look young. I mean, whatever, as long as you don't ruin yourself, which so many actresses have done. But yeah, so I wouldn't normally have thought about doing it, but I felt compelled because I just was freaking uncomfortable. And the happy end result is that, yeah, I do look a little younger, and I look so much more rested, and I feel very, just really comfortable with it. So there you go, everybody. That's the story. And thank you for all the compliments. That was just so lovely of all of you. I'll talk to you guys later. Bye.